but I think you sort of said something very useful. That take for instance me seeing the UFO when I was 20 years old. Okay, now has had no impact on me. It doesn't matter to me now whether it was God or the devil,
right,
or whether it's just a thing. Okay, if I'd started to take a very close interest, now it becomes more important then, but also where the evil influence could come in is that I could have become obsessive and wandered off down a path. And quite clearly then it's easy to recognise that whether it was neutral or evil at the beginning, it's certainly the influence on me has become very, very bad. And so when there are certain things which are clearly wrong.
Yes.
I'll give you an example, which is not to do with UFOs. All right?
Fine.
And this is biblical. This is clearly taught. This is what God has revealed, his view, right? The view of the creator of mankind is that to contact the dead or to try and contact the dead is wrong. Capital W,
Yep.
underlined twice.
Yes.
Now, whether it's possible or not isn't the question. It
Right.
isn't the point. The fact is it's wrong. So whether you heard the voice of Aunt Flossie or seen her face or conjured her up on an Ouija board is utterly irrelevant. What you're doing is wrong. And so there are certain key things which we know can and are always wrong.
Right. And so in this realm, anything that would seek to lead us to the place that says, this is the answer, this will be my answer for salvation, because you did actually have a few years back, I don't know if you remember Heaven's Gate.
Oh, yeah.
And here were this group of people in California that believed that there was a spaceship on the back of Hale-Bopp Comet.
Yep.
So as Hale-Bopp Comet came down, the spaceship could come down, but the leader said the only way that you can be free is to lay down your body and then the spaceship will come and pick you up. Now, when you get to something like that, I mean, people did. I mean, you looked on it, and if it wasn't so serious that quite a few people lost their lives, it would be hilarious. And I can imagine all the comedy sketches and all the late night shows in America probably did it. But it was serious because of what people did. Now, when it comes like that, it becomes so obvious that it's leading you to a place that is completely pushing God out of the picture and bringing something else in. And the moment we see that, we need to take a step back, or if we're helping to encourage them to take a step back.
Absolutely. And besides all the clear things which are designated as wrong in the Bible, that there is a place where it's a bit like temptation. Sexual temptation, for instance. There is a place way back down, further back, a day, a week, a month, or a year, or even more further back, where you shouldn't have gone.
Yes.
Because you took a junction turning, and there's no way back.
Yeah.
You have to go through the place you're going. So, you know, I would say that anything which detracts or distracts people from pursuing a relationship with God, understanding who Jesus is or whatever, it's got to be wrong.
We can just step it up a little bit and get on in talking about the third encounters.
Right.
Because there are a tremendous number of stories, and of course one of the things why this is so topical is just recently that the government released the figures. I had to release a whole number of documents under the Freedom of Information Act, and I had to laugh at this article, which was it's a serious article, but the different reactions that people got. So you got a guy, David Clark, who's a senior lecturer at Sheffield University, says this: the government has been telling the truth. Okay, there are a lot of weird things in the sky, including you, JT, and some of them we can't explain. Exactly what you've said, so you're not the only one that believes it. But there's not a shred of evidence for a single alien visitation. Exactly what you said. So you're not as stupid as you make out to be from that point of view. Now, then we get down for that. Some UFO enthusiasts said last week that they believed the British government had not released all of its files and was concealing the truth about a massive cover-up it had long perpetuated on the British people. So then we get the fact that no matter how many things are open up, there's still this conspiracy going on. And then Joe McGonigal, who's a self-described UFO researcher here, said the documents showed that far from concealing anything, the government had failed to investigate the sightings properly in the first place. So in other words, you take the same set of evidence, which, I mean, I don't know if you looked at any of the stuff. I mean, it was up on the internet for a while, and it didn't look very convincing to me.
I wasn't impressed by that. You know,
it wasn't,
I was expecting some great revelation. I thought, here we go. Because I'm interested in stuff as well. But it was all very disappointing and mundane, wasn't it?
And you could get all those different reactions to it, can't you? So, I mean, nobody's any of the ways. In other words, you take the same set of documentation. One people talk about conspiracy, another one talks about they didn't look at it near enough, another one says, well, I told you so.
It's the grassy knoll syndrome. It's the conspiracy theory thing all over again. And no matter how much it's come out, no matter how many times Procter and Gamble say that their logo is not satanic, someone will come up next week and say it again, because that's the nature of human nature.
So what, I mean, you take Roswell, of course, which is the famous Roswell. I've always called it Roswell. I
think it's Roswell, isn't it?
Anyway, whatever it is, it's that one. and the autopsy and
Area 51.
And
the autopsy was a fake.
I know, but that's the point. But still, people today believe that that's true and believe that there's a. But how, you know, somebody that really comes to you really believing this, or has had their own experience of being taken up into the spaceship and abducted, where do you begin with them, JT? What do you begin to share with them to bring some reality to it?
I've only ever talked to one person who claimed an abduction. For me, whatever subject, I've been here a few times now. And whatever subject we're dealing with, whether it's the Bible Code and the Da Vinci Code, whether it's UFOs and ghosts, whether it's who is Jesus, or whatever else it is, the heart and the core and the most important thing for Christians and for those who haven't come to faith in Jesus is the person of Jesus himself. Now, you may say, well, but you're always saying that, JT. Well, that's right. I'm always saying it. Because God became man to rescue us, to make us whole, to give us meaning to our lives, and to start the process of restoring the whole of creation which has been messed up. Now that's a very big story. And if I'm talking to people like this, I don't have to say, look, you're lying. I don't have to say to them, you're hallucinating. That would only either push them away or create antagonism. All I would want them to do is to look seriously at the big stuff, which is who is Jesus.
Right.
Not what are UFOs, who is Jesus.
So as we deal with the positive, we don't have to start by saying you're wrong with the negative. Let's start with the positive.
Because we don't know, do we?
That's right.
The point is, it's just my idea against his experience. And I don't want to offend anyone like that. What I want them to do is to come to know the Jesus that